Hi everyone, Scott with CyberScribe.org, and in this video I'm going to show you how to get up and running with VMware ESXi, and that is the free hypervisor from VMware, and show you how to get started with that. So first thing you need to do is go to VMware.com and go to Trial and Free Products, or download software. It takes you to the same page, but anyways, you go there and you scroll all the way to the bottom. And right here, download free products, what you want to do, Vsphere Hypervisor 5, okay, and here you're going to go and create an account. You have to do that, there's no other way to get it, but create your account and do your username and password, and then you'll get your hypervisor download. So download that ISO, and you're also going to get a license key, so just keep that, just save that too. You're going to have to put that into the hypervisor when you are when you first get started with it. So download it and burn it to a disk, or however you're going to boot, if you want to do it with a USB drive, either way. But so do that, and then what you're going to do is you're going to go onto your server system, and these are made to be headless servers, so there's really not much you're gonna really be configuring on the server itself. But I just got a couple pictures, and I'll show you what it's going to look like. So you're going to install it, and it's going to boot, and this is just, it's already installed for me, but this is just a picture of it booting. So basically just boot off of the CD that you burned, follow the prompts, and create your password, because that's what you're going to need. And then this is going to be the home screen right here. So really there's not much that you can do with this. You're going to be connecting and commanding it and doing all that stuff remotely. So this is the, like I said, this is when it's already up and running and installed and good to go. Be aware, 192.168.0.100 static. You probably want a static IP for this, just so it's always going to be the same. So that's what we're going to connect to from the remote machine. If you wanted to make changes after it's installed on your server, F2 customize, you can change your passwords, you can change, you can add a domain name and a couple different things like that. But keep in mind your IP address. That's what you're going to connect with. So what we're going to do is, if you really want, you can go and just double check and do a ping 192.168.0.100 and just make sure that it's up and running. Okay, so that's, if you have a problem, you know that you're able to connect to the machine. You probably won't have a problem though. So next thing you're going to do is you're going to go to, let me just show you, HTTPS, and then that IP address. Make sure it's HTTPS, and right there. So the first thing that you're going to get, you're probably not going to get to this screen first. You're going to get to a screen that looks like this. This connection is untrusted. So just say I understand the risks. You know what you're connecting to. It's just that the security certificate, they don't, they can't confirm it like they say right there. So so there you go. But then you get here and you download the Vsphere Client. Okay, so you're going to be connecting to your server with the Vsphere Client. So download that, install it. Again, like I said, don't need to show you because you're just hitting a bunch of next buttons. Okay, so then when you get to the you'll get just this. Let me show you. This is the right there. That's going to be your little icon for it. But so then you get here, and that's my IP address. I'll talk about at the end how you can connect with a domain name, and you can connect remotely using if you have a dynamic DNS and doing all that kind of stuff. I'll talk about that at the end. But right now, just use the IP address or whatever you're going to use to connect, host name or IP address. But just going to put in my password real quick. And after this, log in, and we should be good to go. We'll give it a minute, and it gets up and running. Okay, so maintenance mode, just be aware that this, if you're going to turn the computer or your server off or turn it on, if you turn it off, you need to go into maintenance mode first, and then when you turn it back on, it's going to be in maintenance mode. So when I'm talking about turning on and off, I'm talking about shutting the server off. So when I exit out of this and just this is gone, but the server is still up and running, so just be aware of that. Here I just got a couple of machines, my network services and Win864, but in order to get these running and get these started, or to create virtual machines right there, is you got to get out of maintenance mode. So you just right click and go exit maintenance mode. Okay. One thing just to be aware of is here you got a couple tabs, and we can just go through the tabs just for a minute. Also too, let me just show you here. Dang it. Okay. And here, this is your recent tasks. So if you start a virtual machine, if you stop, you have a little log right down here. So that's kind of nice. But just getting started, and then summary, and it'll just go through and show you kind of your hardware and all that kind of stuff. And let's see, virtual machines, I just have 2 of them. They're both turned off. Resource allocation, you can add different disks. You can create storage pools, well, this is a storage pool right there too. New resource pool. So a lot of different stuff. There's a couple cool graphs that you can do. I'd like to see the power one, but mine doesn't really work for that. So I don't know if it's like just the sensors on my server, or if it's because I'm using the free version. But you do like see CPU right here. You can see. So some things like that. But remember, you got the license key, and what you want to do when you first start it, just so you remember to do it, is take that license key and go into license features. And there's my key, but just go edit and then assign a new license key to this host, and then put in your key. Then you're good to go. Because you'll probably get started with maybe a 60-day trial, which has everything, but then you want to put in your license key so then you can continue to use it, the free version after all that stuff. So local users and groups, events, this is good to do, check out too, and permissions and things like that. So one last thing I wanted to show you is this configuration. This is the server itself right there. Okay, so you got all these little options here: health status, processors. You can see your networking and how that works. The server is on the 192.168.0.0/24 network. What's interesting here is my network services in Win864, they're going to be on that 192.168.0.0/24 network as well. But that's also the same network as this computer I'm working on right now, or if I have a different machine connected to it. So it's going to be on that same network as your other physical machines. So there's that, and you can just check these things out, play with it. Storage adapters, network adapters, power management. You can go into properties and let me show you, and just make it like low power or high performance depending on what you want to do. Okay. Time configuration, you can put in an NTP, have it connect to an NTP server. You can change some DNS services, which I've already done right there. Changed my preferred and alternate DNS servers. One other thing to show you is security profile. So what you can have is, what I did is just services. So you can kind of go through with the services and see what you have. You can connect to this machine via SSH, but it has to be you have to go into options here, and you have to start it up, start and stop with host, if that's what you want to do. Okay, so just a couple different things there. And one other thing to show you is this firewall. And you have incoming connections, and you have all these incoming possible connections here. So let's go to properties of the firewall and Vsphere Client. So last thing that I'll talk about here is if you want to connect. Okay, we're still going. Okay, so if you wanted to connect to your server remotely, and I mean like from across the country, what you would do is you would go and you would say you get your 1&1 or GoDaddy domain name, and then you would get in this case I'll talk about dynamic DNS, because I think most of us probably have we don't have a static IP address like for our WAN link. So what you would do is then you would get like your dynamic DNS service. You can do it yourself too, but just you can buy the service with Dyn or something, and then you can point on your domain command page. You can point to that dynamic DNS server, and then you can have your update clients updating your DNS server, updating to the dynamic DNS server. And then after that, what you would do is if you have, like in my situation, I have a DSL modem and router, and then everything's connected to that. So what you would have to do there is you would have to port forward on that router, on that modem. And port forwarding, this is the whole thing that I was getting to, you would port forward 443 and 902 TCP. And once you do that, and once you have all your connections set up, then you can go into your vSphere. Let me just see if it shows up again. Yeah, you can go here, and instead of an IP address, you can put in the host name. and then you'll be able to connect remotely. So it's kind of a long-winded explanation, but it is really handy when it comes to that. So just click OK right there, and at this point you're up and running. You're out of maintenance mode, and you can start making virtual machines, which I will talk about in a different video. So like I said, put the license key in first, and you can do some security profile stuff, and you can do some port forwarding if you really wanted to do the full remote connectivity, like across states or across the countries or across town. So that's what makes it really powerful, and that's all I wanted to show you for this video. So stay tuned for future videos.